Okay, Lesson 89, a review lesson of Lesson 77. I am entitled to miracles. Woo! I am entitled to miracles because I am under no laws but God's. We learned that last week. The only way that you are not entitled to miracles is when you are identified with this as a body and you believe that you are separate from God and that you have a will apart from God. Now you're under the laws of the insane world. But once you re-identify as the image and likeness of God, once you have that mistaken belief corrected at the level of the mind, you're entitled to miracles, and miracles abound. I love signing all my letters off now. Miracles abound. Why? Because I am under no laws but God's. His laws, God's laws, love's laws, which are all-encompassing laws. There's nothing outside of love. Love is divine perfection. Love is health. Sickness is a defense against health. Love is abundance. Lack and scarcity are defenses against abundance. Yep. Why do we defend against perfection? I'll tell you why. Because we believe that we have actually separated from God. That's the core guilt in the mind. And that guilt is in the rabbit hole. Deep, deep, deep. Lifetimes of guilt. And that's why Jesus says, are you willing to face everything about yourself, anything about yourself, in order to be totally and truly free? You have to be willing. Yeah. And how do we know what's in our mind? Well, just look at how you react to the world. Everything that triggers you is coming from the guilt in the mind. Everything. So just look at all the things that triggered you so far today. I know. It's because that's what you want to be real. So he says, his laws, God's laws, love's laws, release you from all grievances. And grievances and judgments come from guilt. We all have guilt. Sickness in the body is the result of guilt in the mind. What is the guilt? Again, I think, I believe that I've separated from God. And now I have guilt. And then that guilt fragments itself into sickness, lack, starvation, poverty, wars, viruses. It fragments into a multitude of things. This is a fragmented world of guilt. It's the result of guilt in the mind. So his laws, God's laws, love's laws, are going to release me from all these grievances. Will release me from my sickness, will release me from my seeming lack, my belief in lack and scarcity, will release me from everything I think I know and believe about the world. It will release me from the I know mind. It will release me from all these private thoughts that I've pushed down. It will release me and replace them with miracles. Oh, so we replace sickness with health. We replace lack and scarcity with abundance. We replace judgments with oneness. There is no duality in oneness. There is no separateness of anything. And we now are a container of love, and the divine is using our eyes to see the world. And when the divine uses your eyes to see the world, you will recognize if it's not love, it's a call for love. And because you have said yes, you can hold that space. You can hold that space. That's big boy work, big girl work, and it requires to give forth, forgive all of the grievances that come from the guilt deep down in the mind. Oh my goodness. So actually what we're doing is accepting the atonement for ourselves. What is the atonement? The correction of the error in our mind that we could be something other than what God created. That's the problem. You believe you're not worthy of love. That's why we people please. Any people pleasers out there? When you think you're not worthy of love, then you assign someone a role to play for you. And no one can play that role for you because you're an empty well. Until we're in oneness, we have a bottomless pit. And you just keep trying to get other people to fill that well for you. Oh my goodness. Okay. Jesus goes on to say, and I would accept the miracles in place of the grievances. How do we accept the miracles? You know, meditation is the breath of life. To breathe in and receive everything good, everything God, and to know who you are as an extension, the sunbeam to the sun, to know who you are, to remember that you are what came out of God. God willed us, right? And so if I can sit still and receive that, oh, I receive truth. Oh, that is what I am. Oh, I forgot. Well, if you can accept that, you can accept the miracles then, because that's miracles come out of that, in place of your judgments, in place of your grievances. Why would you want to hold on to being mad all the time, being depressed all the time, being sick all the time, being anxious all the time? What you're really saying is, I want the unreal to be real. You know, I hope you're getting that these lessons are just repeating. And it's like Sai Baba said, there's nothing new. He says the same thing over again. Jesus said the same thing. Buddha said the same thing. They all say the same thing. Jesus is saying the same thing. But in this one, he's saying the way to the ascension is by forgiving absolutely everything. Because all these grievances that you have are illusions that hide the miracles beyond. So when you're all wrapped up in this world of scarcity and lack, sickness and death, like really, when you're born into this world, from the indoctrination from parents and grandparents, we're like on this death march, the body marching toward the grave. Because even that, the belief in death, everything has to be given up. It's all a grievance coming from the guilt in your mind. I've separated from God, and now God's going to get me and punish me. And the ultimate punishment is death. Oh, there is no death. We're here to wake up while we're in the body. I am the image and likeness of God. And when this game is over, I'm just going to lay my body down and move on to the next dance, the next party, the next life. Maybe it will be on Venus. Maybe it will be on Mars. Well, maybe you want to go to Jupiter. Yeah, there's life forms on all planets. Everything is teeming with life. Now, I would accept only, oh, I like that word. I will accept only what the laws of God entitle me to have. It's the only thing I'm going to accept. Nothing else. I'm not going to accept what this world is telling me. I'm not going to accept. Like, do you question things? You know, do you research? Do you investigate? Or do you just accept? Like even Buddha, he said, you know, do not believe. Don't believe what anyone tells you. Don't believe what the government say. Don't believe what the politicians say. Don't believe what your mother says. Don't believe what your father says. Don't believe it. Go deeper. Go into your heart and ask yourself, does this feel right? Does it feel right? But no one's teaching us to do that as children. to trust our intuition and our feelings. No wonder we're all stuck in the head, trying to figure out life, listening to the lies of who's ever out there. They're all lies. Everything in this world is a complete opposite to what God is, to what God's laws are. God's laws are abundance. God's laws are made of joy. If you're not wholly joyous, then you are believing in the lies of this world, identified as a body. Are you joyous? I don't see a lot of happy people today, waiting for the world to change before you get joyous. But it's the other way around. You volunteered to come down. Yes, okay, God, yep, I'll come down and ride the waves of ascension. In fact, I will do my part to the best of my ability on behalf of you and the sonship. Show me where to go, tell me what to say. But everyone's wrapped up in fear, waiting for this world to change. Someone asked me the other day, what do you think our future's about? I said, I have no idea. All I know is each of us are creating our own future based on what you want to be true. So if you're all wrapped up in fear, 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 oh my God, look at the world, it's a mess, we're all going to hell in a handbasket, blah, blah, blah. If that's the thoughts in the mind, then that will be the future you live in. But if you see and feel in your heart a calm peace, and you have adoration, pink ray, adoration and love for God and only God, and your deepest desire is to serve the light, then you will want to see the lion laying down with the lamb. You will want to envision for yourself peace on earth and give no energy to what's going on around you. You can see it, but you know it's not true. That's what masters do. That's why they're joyous, because they don't believe any of it is true. What makes us suffer is the fact that you believe it. We believe it's real, and that's the source of our suffering. So Jesus says, accept only what the laws of God entitle you to have, that you may use it on behalf of the function He has given you. God gave you one function in order to be joyous, and here it is. Forgive the dream. You're the dreamer of the dream. This whole dream that you're in, your life as it is, you dreamt it. And you can change it by correcting the error in your mind. And the error in your mind is you think, you believe rather, and then you think it, that you've left God. Now you're guilty, deserving of punishment, and the ultimate punishment from God is death. But God is all-encompassing love. That's the problem. It's what do you believe? The only reason we choose to hold on to those grievances, judgments, whatever, is because of the fear of God. Always deep down that rabbit hole. Remember how deep, how willing, and how deep do you want to go? Because at the very bottom of it is a deep, deep fear of God. And you hold those grievances in place, those judgments in place as a defense against God. You're just too afraid of being one with God. Yeah, that's something that needs to be looked at more deeply. Mm-hmm. So Jesus says, whatever's happening to you in your life, whatever, say, behind this appearance of sickness in my body, behind this anxiety and grief, behind this situation with the government, behind this with the disease, the virus, whatever, there is a miracle to which I am entitled. Oh, thank you, Jesus. There is a miracle to which I am entitled because I am under no laws but God's. Let me not hold a grievance against you, world, against you, my friend, against you, husband, wife, daughter, whatever, but offer you the miracle that belongs to you instead. We are all deserving of miracles because we are what God created. Seen truly, this offers me a miracle. When I see you as what God created, I'm in miracle mindedness. And now this offers me a miracle. What you give, you get. What you put out comes back. I want to see you behind this appearance. You're showing up as, psychotic. You're showing up as demented. You're showing up to me as bipolar. You're showing up to me as sick in your body and stressed and anxious. But I'm going to see in you the miracle. I'm going to go past these appearances that stand before me. Yes, I am, because I'm riding the waves of ascension as a volunteer who said yes to love. So I'm going to look past appearances and I'm going to see the truth. You are a miracle. And what happens to me? Miracles abound. My life becomes one big miracle because that's what I'm holding for all my brothers and sisters. That is so beautiful. Wow. And then our next review lesson, Jesus says, it's lesson 78, let miracles replace all grievances. So as you can see, these lessons are an unfolding, an undoing of the ego's thought system, step by step. So now he's saying, you got to let miracles replace all those grievances. And again, the grievances are in your mind because you believe that you left God. And God's answer to that was inconceivable. Inconceivable. Yeah. So Jesus says, by this idea, do I unite my will with the Holy Spirit's and perceive them as one. Let miracles replace all grievances. I am what God created. Therefore, I am in my right mind with the Holy Spirit and God. We are one. So my will and God's will are one. By this idea, do I accept my release from hell? Don't you want to get out of hell? I know. Hell is over there in the dream world that you yourself want. I want to be sick. Who wants to be sick? Do you ever notice when you're sick, all your focus goes on sickness? Oh, you get all scared and you start, focusing on the sickness. We've talked about this so many times. Jesus brings it up so many times. When something goes wrong in your life, all the focus goes on what's wrong in your life. But we are saying here, in order to be released from hell, you have to first say, I want to be wrong about myself. I want to be wrong about what I believe. Oh, I believed in sickness. I want to be wrong about that. I want to be wrong about sickness. I am willing to be wrong about what I believe. I am willing to be wrong about what I think. I want to be wrong about what I think and believe. Have you ever said that? Try that. Next time you're in a conflict with someone, see if you can remember this and say to yourself, I want to be wrong about what's going on here. I want to be wrong about this conflict that I have created. I want to be wrong about this. Show me the way out. Try that. It's amazing when you're in a situation where you're sick and we want to be all wrapped up in the sickness, but say to yourself, I want to be wrong about this belief in sickness. I want to be wrong about that. Because you can't get out of hell until you want to. Do you want to get out of hell? And the ego is so tempting. It's tempting you always to play with the trinkets of this world of hell. What are the trinkets? To get wrapped up in the concepts of this world. To get wrapped up in what they are telling you to do and say and think and be. And you know who they are, right? And we're so tempted to get caught up in all of that. But the only way to get out of hell is to want to. So you need to then be willing to be wrong about health or sickness, poverty and lack, grievances and judgments. You say to yourself, I want to be wrong about this situation. I want to be wrong about my beliefs. I want to be wrong about these thoughts of you. Show me, teach me. I want to be wrong. That's how you get out of hell. By this idea, do I express my willingness to have all my illusions be replaced with truth? Well, how deep down that rabbit hole do you want to go? Are you willing to look at absolutely everything about yourself? Instead of pointing it out there, bring it back in. If you're seeing it in the world and you're triggered by it, you're doing it. If you're hearing something out there that's triggering you big time, you're saying it. I know. There's no out there. It's all you. But how willing are you to go deep down, down, and just pull up everything about yourself and face it? And again, how do I know what's going on? Well, what am I triggered by in the world? What places, people, and things trigger me? Jesus, the Holy Spirit will work with those specifics until you realize that they're all the same. It's fear. It's just fear. Fear of God's wrath. Fear of God's punishment. And the ultimate punishment is death. That's the belief. So we want to express our willingness to have all my illusions be replaced with truth. What is truth? That which never changes. See, today you're happy, tomorrow you're not. Well, that can happen every 2 seconds. I'm happy, then I'm sad, then I'm stressed, then I'm anxious, then I'm joyous, then I'm not. I'm up, I'm down, I'm round, I'm round. I'm just spinning. You're always changing, so that's not real. Truth is that which never changes. It's constant. So that's what's real. Love is what's real. Have you ever been with a group of people? And, well, listen, we're just having so much fun here because we're having like our weekly gatherings, and we sing bhajans and we play our instruments, and, everyone comes over, we do a potluck, and it's just so nice. And you feel this love, this oneness in the room. Everyone is on the same frequency and vibration of divine love. We're all sharing and caring and laughing and singing and playing our instruments, and Jamie's belly dancing. I'm trying to convince her to put her belly dancing video up. Maybe she will. She's a great belly dancer. Oh my goodness. So, and in that oneness, you're not thinking of anything else but laughter and joy. That's what's real. And when you're around like-minded people that have one goal, which is joy, there's nothing outside of it, because love is joy and love is all-encompassing. So there can be no opposite. And that's the world we're creating, guys. You and me together, with our willingness to look past appearances and to be of miracle-mindedness, are creating, as first wavers, second wavers, third wavers, fourth wavers, doesn't matter, a new world. We are creating a new world of synergy. The love and the patience and the kindness and the forgiveness and the laughter and the joy. We are forgiving this hell, going past appearances and living according to God's will. We are willing to be wrong about who we thought we were. We thought we were bodies with crazy beliefs and untruths, and we are forgiving it, undoing the ego's thought system, training our minds, and living in a synergistic world of love, peace, and joy. And the world of love, peace, and joy is not the same as hell, frustration, irritation, stress, and worry, sickness, and death. They're two different worlds. And you yourself are deciding which future you want to place yourself in by how you think, what you believe, and what you want. I want a future where the lion and the lamb lay down together. where we sing and dance and share our talents and gifts. And no one's better than anyone else. Everybody has something they're bringing to the table. Everyone. And we live together in peace and harmony. It's possible. But that future, we can't see it. Right? You can't see it, collectively. We can't see this future. But we can envision it within us. And if each of us envision the future that we want together, we will create a new world. But we can't actually know what it looks like because it's brand new. We're each creating it by our thoughts and desires and wants. I know, it's so amazing. Wow, this really is the new age of light. It's the new age of energy and frequencies and vibrations and higher mind. And it's just this new age that is being born. And that old age that's falling away, wow, we're in that interface. But remember, you said yes. You volunteered to come here while we're in this transitional time to serve. I know. And that's why we need each other as mighty companions to hold each other up. When someone feels low and you're high, you're there so they can come up. And we pay no attention to those that don't want to be a part of it. It's okay. Those people that don't want to be a part of it will be in their own reality according to their karma. It's okay. We don't judge them and think they're wrong and bad because they do whatever they do. No, love does not do that. Love says, go in peace. Go in peace. Wow. So we're going to have our illusions through forgiveness. I forgive the dream. It's a simulation. It's a virtual reality. Remember the goggles? And I'm going to forgive the dream. And I'm going to replace it with truth. I am what God created. And according to God's plan for my salvation, forgiveness is the way. I would make no exceptions and no substitutes. Absolutely not. Everything I bring and surrender and turn over. I want all of heaven. And only heaven, as God wills me to have. Jesus said, my kingdom is not of this world. I love saying that to myself. Ooh, Deanna, your kingdom is not of this world. I'll play the game in this world, be in this world, but not of this world. There's something more grand going on. Past these appearances, something much more grand. We don't want to make substitutes any longer for love. You've tried to substitute all kinds of things for love, right? It's like, well, I'll make a substitute called the perfect relationship with the man. Well, that failed. And I'll have a substitute called, I'll get the perfect dress to wear to the party. You go to the party and another woman has the same dress on. Well, that didn't work. And your substitutes, well, I'll just find the perfect woman. Oh, and then she doesn't cook like my mother. Well, so much for that. Out the window. All the substitutes that you've put in place, we don't want them anymore. There will be no substitutes for God. On the second ray of adoration, the third ray of adoration and love, which is Archangel Chamuel and Paul the Venetian, it is the ray of wanting only love, wanting only adoration of the divinity within you. And out of that comes everything. I love that. I want all of heaven. I don't want just a piece of heaven. I want all of it. So therefore, I will make no exceptions and no substitutes. It's like, did you ever think, oh, if you could just get that one thing, I've done that through my life. Oh, that would be, if I just have that, I will just be on this even keel street. And it will just stay the same forever, and nothing stays the same forever in the world of duality. It changed. Whoops. No more substitutes. Jesus says then, whatever you're holding on to. Now, every grievance that you have is from guilt. Remember that. So guilt equals grievance. equals fragmentation of the grievance. So what is the fragmentation? Sickness, poverty, lack, scarcity, worry, anxiety, defense and attack. Just think of anything that falls under the umbrella with fear. That is a grievance, which is coming from guilt, which is coming from the belief that you separated from God. All right, so whatever you're dealing with right now, whatever's going on in your life, okay, is a grievance. So you say to yourself, I would not hold this grievance apart from my salvation. Let our grievances be replaced by miracles. I am entitled to miracles because I am under no laws but God's. Beyond this, whatever that grievance is, sickness, discomfort in the body, bodily symptom of any kind, mental symptom, problem, lack, whatever, that's a grievance, okay? So beyond this, whatever it is the miracle by which all my grievances are replaced.